Hi, I'm so glad you joined me for this video that is a must-see for anyone who uses nutritional supplements. My name is Kellie Smith and I've held a private practice in the healthcare industry for 20 years. Today I'm here to share with you 3 things that you may not know about supplements. Now I know everybody's busy, so I'll keep this short. Number 1, your supplements may be toxic. Fillers, binders, and flow agents are a real problem. I'm embarrassed to say I was unaware of how much until just a few years ago. I was always focused on the active ingredients, the one I was buying the supplement for, the vitamin C or D or zinc. Now these binders and fillers will be listed at the bottom of the ingredient label under Other. They are not active ingredients. Now just because they're at the bottom of the label does not mean they are the least present in the product. So if you take a standard capsule, it's 500 milligrams, and you go to buy a calcium supplement that says it has 250 milligrams. The other 250 milligrams are then fillers. So oftentimes they are equal to the active ingredients. So they really play a big part in the supplement themselves, and they are not needed. Fillers are inexpensive ingredients that are used to fill up a capsule and make it look like you're getting more of the active ingredient than you are. Binders are used to bind tablets together, and flow agents are used to keep the raw ingredients flowing through the machinery without clumping or sticking. Now what this does is it saves the company's bottom line because they can produce more faster, but at a cost to us and our health and well-being. So when you're looking for quality supplements, you really want to avoid these ingredients. The first ingredient I would like to talk to you about is microcrystalline cellulose. It is both an anti-caking agent and a filler. It's made out of wood pulp. Now, it is in most supplements, so I bet if you went through your cupboards now, you might find that ingredient in 50, even 75% of the supplements that you're taking. That's a lot of sawdust, and it's not really what I want to be getting when I'm taking supplements. The other problem there is that trees are not meant to be consumed, and so they have different requirements as far as the pesticides and chemicals that you're allowed to use on them. Then we're ingesting very toxic chemicals. The first ingredient, again, is microcrystalline cellulose. It can cause depression, forgetfulness, lack of energy, headaches, gas, bloating, acute inflammation, and impairs lung mechanics. Stearic acid may lead to cancer, neurotoxicity, organ toxicity, skin irritations, as well as damage the immune system. Magnesium stearate, first of all, it's not a source of magnesium for your body. It's actually a mechanical lubricant intended to grease machines for faster production. It's often sourced from genetically engineered hydrogenated oils, and it may reduce the bioavailability of the active ingredients in the supplement that you're taking. Vegetable stearate and vegetable-based lubricants also fall into this category. Calcium stearate is primarily used as a lubricant in the plastics industry, for waterproofing in the construction industry, and as an anti-caking additive in the pharmaceutical and cosmetic industry. I don't know about you, but I don't really want to take something that is used in the plastics, waterproofing, and construction industry. It doesn't sound like something I want to ingest. Next, titanium dioxide and sodium benzenate are both carcinogens. Titanium dioxide is often used as a colorant and is linked to immune system problems, inflammation, DNA damage, and kidney toxicity. Propylene glycol, that is literally antifreeze. It's normally only found in your cheaper quality supplements, but it is found in some supplements. So number 1 was your supplements may be toxic. Now on to number 2. You may not be receiving any benefits from the supplements you're taking. Now you're probably thinking, if I can get 300 milligrams of vitamin C in a supplement from Costco or my grocery store or a local drugstore, why would I pay more money for a different supplement that also has 300 milligrams of vitamin C? Well, there's actually a big difference in the different supplements. So first thing you need to know is that supplements are regulated as a food. So if you think about going to the grocery store and buying, let's say, a frozen pizza, and on the front of that package, the pizza says it has a pound of cheese. First of all, who checks? Is it really a pound of cheese, or half a pound of cheese, or a quarter pound of cheese? Nobody's ever going to know because nobody checks. Number 2, what kind of cheese is it? Is it mozzarella cheese? Is it goat cheese, soy cheese, imitation cheese? And the same thing is true when you're looking at nutritional supplements. So I have a fairly sad example of this. I have a friend of mine who is a doctor and a chemist, and he was asked by a colleague of his, who was also a physician, what the best source of ginger was to prescribe to his patients. And so my friend went to the store and purchased all the ginger supplements on the shelf and took them back to his laboratory and analyzed each one of them. And none of them had exactly in the bottle what was on the label, but one of them did not contain any ginger at all. And it was a ginger supplement. So the quantity of the ingredients is definitely important. And for this reason, I would not suggest buying your supplements at the grocery store or Costco. And then the next thing is also the quality of the ingredients. So just like with the example of the pizza and the cheese, there's a lot of different quality and different types of the same thing. So if you were going to get a vitamin C, let's say, it could be a synthetic vitamin C. And the body is never going to recognize synthetic supplements the way it does a natural supplement. So a vitamin C that was formed in a lab, when you introduce that to a cell culture, the cells sort of repel it. It doesn't understand what it is because it's not a formula that the body recognizes. Where if it comes from something like oranges, the body does recognize it and absorbs it. So finding ingredients that are not synthetic is also important. And then when you look at the ingredients, taking vitamin C specifically, often they don't have a complete vitamin C, they have ascorbic acid. It's just one component of vitamin C, where if you can find a vitamin C that is sourced from whole camu-berry, so when you look at the ingredient list, it says vitamin C from whole camu-berry, because camu-berries have one of the highest contents of vitamin C. It's a whole food and your body's actually going to be able to use it better. Other examples of natural supplements would be, I always look for iodine sourced from seaweed rather than potassium iodine. I will look for niacinamide rather than niacin, because niacinamide is the natural form and niacin is the synthetic form. So when you're looking at the different ingredients, looking for them in their natural form is going to make a difference. So looking at both quantity and quality of supplements is going to make a really big difference in the supplements that you take. So that was number 2. Now on to number 3. The RDA does not equal optimal health. Now I know most people, when they're looking at a multivitamin, they're going to look at the recommended dietary allowance. And they're going to look to make sure that they're getting 100% of the dietary allowances for each and every ingredient. But it's important to know where the RDA came from. It actually was created during World War II as a matter of national defense. Our soldiers were getting very sick, and that was a problem. So they had to measure what was the minimum amount of nutrition needed to not get scurvy or beriberi disease, some of the other diseases that were apparent at that point in time. Now here in a first world country, we really aren't dealing with scurvy or beriberi disease. Those aren't things we're really dealing with, and we're not looking for the minimal amount of health to keep us from getting sick. We're looking for the optimal amount to keep us healthy. So when you look at your supplements, there's many times that it may say you're getting 1,000% of the RDA or 500%, and some of them will be 100%. It's really going to vary. It's going to depend on the latest science, the latest research, and like vitamin D, over the last 10 years, they've realized that we really need a lot more than what was recommended even 5 years ago. So that was number 3. The RDA does not equal optimal health. So you want to be looking for something that meets more than the minimum RDA requirements. So let's recap. Number 1, your supplements might be toxic. Number 2, you may not be receiving any benefits from the supplements you're currently taking. And number 3, you need more than the recommended dietary allowance for optimal health. All of this may seem a little overwhelming. You may be thinking, who has time to do this research or read all these ingredient labels? And you're right, it is very time consuming, but you're in luck. Because as a healthcare practitioner, I have access to over 17,000 supplements from hundreds of supplement companies, many of which you can't get out of the store. You have to go through a healthcare practitioner to receive. And I have spent countless hours, I can't even tell you how many hours, going through these supplements. And now granted, I haven't went through all 17,000, but I have went through many. And so my online store contains about 1,200 supplements at this point that you can go online and purchase, knowing that they do not contain any of those harmful ingredients. I've done all the hard work for you. So I've included below a link to my store, so you can just click on there and go. Better yet, you'll receive 10% off every order every time. So I've just set it up that way permanently. You don't have to wait for a sale. You don't have to buy, there's no minimum purchases. There's no auto shipments or auto requirements. I mean, if you like things to have an auto shipment, you can. If you think, oh, I want this sent to me every month or every 2 months, you can set it up that way, but you definitely don't have to. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you're somebody who doesn't like to buy things online, I've also provided a PDF that you can either download to your phone or print off. So number one, you can go through the ingredients of the supplements that you already have and make sure you're not ingesting a bunch of those harmful ingredients now. And number two, if you were going to a store, you could take those ingredient lists with you so that you could double check and have that on hand to reference. And to make it even easier, I've included another short video of the supplements that I take and recommend to my clients and my loved ones to narrow it down. And I'll give you the reasons why I use those supplements and what it is I take. And there's also an additional video on how to use my online store in case you have any questions there. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe if you'd like to receive more videos like this. Until next time, take care.